Yeah, like you said, I'm Jim Misudek, general manager and owner of the Dock Spiders, and we'll get into presentation here. Thank you for everyone joining online too. Here's what our ballpark used to look like. I'll get into some photos and renderings of things of changes we've made over the years, and especially going into this year too. We'll see some new photos. Quick on my background, I won't go through this too long. Get to the task at hand. But like John mentioned, I'm from Fond du Lac originally, and the high school class of 2002, which was the first graduating class of the quote new high school. So through Goodrich through 11th grade, and then the new high school after that. But from here, went to UW Fond du Lac for 2 years to get my associate's degree, and then lacrosse for a sport management degree. And have been with the Dock Spiders. This is my 5th season with Dock Spiders. And what did I do in between all of that? A little bit. Started as an intern with the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, so that was my first job in baseball while I was still in school. And that was a sort of an all-encompassing internship for that baseball season. Then from there, that experience helped me get experience with the Milwaukee Brewers, and spent 2 years there in different roles. Most recently, I guess you could say I was a sales representative there, but media relations intern was my reason for being there, and did a lot of work in that area with the Brewers. And that coincided with their postseason appearance in 2008, which was the first time back in the playoffs in 26 years. So it was a fun time to be there. From the Brewers, went to the Cincinnati Reds for a year for another internship, and then had an opportunity for a full-time job with the Atlanta Braves, and moved down to Atlanta and did that for 5 seasons. From Atlanta, went on to Baltimore. So there's a saying in baseball: if you want to move up, you have to move out. Typically, very competitive industry, and when an opening comes up, it doesn't typically matter where it is. You go where the opportunity is. So spent 6 seasons in Baltimore, and this is where I was running a baseball communications, media relations. Terms are interchangeable, but running that department, and that included putting together all the team baseball information, press releases, media guides, daily game notes, those kind of things that go out to the media, and all those fun facts that the announcers on TV mention. They don't come up with them off the top of their head. It's usually people like what I was doing hours of research and having those things available at their fingertips. But that also included all of my time with all these teams, traveling with the team and handling media requests and interviews with players, media, coaches, all of that. And, did that for, you add that all up, 15, 16 years. So that takes us to where we are today for Dock Spiders, where I am today for Dock Spiders. And I want to get into the history of the team. Like you saw from the opening slide here, it is our 10th season, so something to celebrate for us, which is very cool. How did we get to before that time and where we're at right now? I'd hope to have more of a Fond du Lac baseball history portion of this presentation too, but I played baseball at Fond du Lac High School in Goodrich for Marty Paulson. That name doesn't ring a bell for anybody in town. It should. And I have a little bit on him, but he had some health issues that he wasn't able to help me out as much as he had hoped. So it's going to be a little more Dock Spider heavy in this presentation, and a little bit of Fond du Lac baseball history. So maybe that's something for the future. We can get a little deeper dive into Fond du Lac baseball history. But for the Dock Spiders, so before the Dock Spiders existed, organized baseball in Fond du Lac dates back to 1891. And there were a number of different organized groups, and they all had names like the Webfoots, the Mud Hens, the Mauls, the Panthers. The Panthers were affiliated with the New York Yankees, and they existed right before World War II, from 1940 and into 42. Took a break during the war, and then picked back up again in 46. And they were here through 1953, and they played at the Fairgrounds ballpark, which is now there's a grandstand is still there where concerts are held, the demolition derby is held, and all of those kind of things. And talking with Marty about playing games out there, that there's sometimes where car parts left behind from different events, and they'd have to dodge those things on the field. So But Fond du Lac Panthers being an actual minor league team of the New York Yankees, some future major league players did play there. So precursor to what we're doing now too, that happens for us as well. And even a Hall of Famer. And there was a Hall of Famer that played for the Fond du Lac Panthers that played in town, right here in the city. Does anybody know who that is?
I'll guess Henry Aaron.
It was not Henry Aaron. And it's not going to be any, I don't think if you're thinking baseball, you're going to be you're going to not be in the right ballpark, pun intended. But Charlie Pride played for the Fond du Lac Panthers. He's in the Country Music Hall of Fame. He's an African American, he passed away recently, African American country singer. He was a pitcher, played for the Panthers, and he holds a distinction for being traded, not with the Panthers, but he holds a distinction of being traded for a team bus while he was a minor league player. So he ended up giving up baseball and going into music. So, rightly so, probably. So from 1953 until 2017, organized professional baseball had not been in Fond du Lac, but for 2017 it did return. And how that came was in the form of the Fond du Lac Dock Spiders, a Northwoods League expansion club. There's process to go through with the league and expansion fees and application processes that take a few years typically. Finally came into being in 2016. That was awarded, and that was agreed upon to start in the 2017 season. It did include from the team's inception, involvement with the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers. So they're heavily invested and very much involved through the 24 season, officially as a shared ownership group. 2025 through today, that ownership group changed a little bit. I'll get into that in a little bit, but for the field to host Northwoods League games, certain things there had to be a field first of all and a stadium to play in. Marion had nice bones for that, and the Timber Rattlers group and the Dock Spiders came in and added some parts, which included concession stand, seating for enough people, restrooms for enough people, a locker room, full kitchen, concession stand operation. When Marion had the field, it had the seats that are just behind home plate and the press box, basically. And when the Dock Spiders came in, added more seating, added some of those things that you logistically need to host games every single day, which get into what the Northwoods League does. With that, there are games every single day in the Northwoods League. There's 26 teams playing in the upper Midwest. The team is over 30 years old at this point. Players are current college players with NCAA eligibility. And this league plays with wooden bats in a 72-game season in about 75, 76 days. So not a lot of time off at all. Playing every day, like I said. Our team today is in Battle Creek, Michigan, and we're back home tomorrow night for games this weekend. So constantly playing, not a lot of off time. Mimics professional schedule very much so. So scouts, major league teams like our league for that fact that if a player can show their stuff and be successful in our league, it's a good indicator of being good at the next level too. So that's something we really like. And yes, not yet. Soon. You got to listen to me for a little while, and you can have that. Good question. Why the Dock Spiders name? So over 800 names were submitted from the community through a contest, and different things came through. And San Diego-based marketing firm named Grandiose was involved heavily in this process too. Created different identities and had community discussions and key people and sponsors that would be part of our team going forward. Through that, identified 5 finalists: the Barn Owls, the Dock Spiders, the Lake Flies, the Pipsqueaks, and the Shantymen. So it's clear through a lot of the community conversations that happened that Lake Winnebago is a big part of our community. That's a big connection to everybody that does live here. But ultimately, something with spiders came through. It allows for some really cool branding opportunities. There's no other professional team or no other major organized team other than University of Richmond that uses the term or the team spiders. So a chance to do something no one else does and have some good marketing opportunities with that. The old Cleveland Guardians, which were previously the Cleveland Indians, they used to be known as the Cleveland Spiders. But that was a very long time ago, and they gave that up. So chance for the Dock Spiders to come in and take that really cool opportunity. And during the first season of Dock Spiders, Sports Illustrated, when they were doing regular work, identified the Dock Spiders as the best new name for a team that season. So that was a cool distinction to have. Winning culture is part of what we do and everything that the team is about. Championships, already 2 championships, and 2 of them happened very quickly. 2018 was the team's second season, so that's very cool for us. And 2020 was a shortened season for a number of reasons, obviously. And there was different pods that play based on travel and other restrictions based around COVID. But Wisconsin, the teams that could play in Wisconsin and Illinois in our league formed sort of it was called a pod of teams that could travel to that point. The Dock Spiders won that. Or every game that was thrown at the Dock Spiders, they kept winning. So they won. We consider that a championship for us. And part of that winning culture is to win games, we need top players. So relationships is how we get players, and we have relationships with colleges, college coaches. Through my background at Major League Baseball scouts, we reach out to them and see who's on their radar and who should be on our team, and that's the pool of players that we're pulling from. And more recently, agents, because a lot of the college players now have agents, and they can get paid to play and all of this at school and have NIL money, and they transfer all the time. So we have tapped into that market pretty successfully to have some top players come through our team. So numbers around those top players. So again, this is the 10th season. So in the previous 9 Major League Baseball drafts, we haven't had this draft yet. We've had 45 players of ours drafted by major league teams. So that's average, 5 a year. So that's what we shoot for, is to bring in the right kind of players. And on the left there is Victor Scott. He's playing center field for the St. Louis Cardinals these days. And with those players that have been drafted, we've had some reach the major leagues. So we've had 8 players reach the major leagues. And I think that's even more than the Fond du Lac Panthers had in their times with affiliated teams. But we've had 8 of our players reach the major leagues. And I think there we go. Yep. The logo is what team they debuted with. So obviously Caleb Durbin's been traded to the Red Sox. Nick Fortes is now with the Rays. Victor Scott still with the Cardinals. Ryan Ludus has been with a number of different teams, the Nationals, the Mariners, maybe a few others. Chandler Simpson still with the Rays. Ryan Bergert, I believe, is with the Royals now. Tim Elko still with the White Sox, and Ryan Ritter still with the Rockies. But there's 8, and you can see the years too. These 5 were last year alone. We had 5 players reach the major leagues last year. That was quite a year for us, quite an accomplishment. A lot to keep up with, but very exciting for us. But you can see just the time it takes in the minor leagues. So not getting drafted doesn't mean you're being the major leagues. Like in the NFL, you get drafted, you're probably in the NFL pretty quick. The NBA, you're almost guaranteed to be in there right away. There's still a lot of work once you get drafted. You can see this took 4 years for Nick Fortes after he was with us to make it to the major leagues. Very similar for Victor Scott and Ryan Ludus, Caleb Durbin, 4 or 5 years there. So there's years that still the development that happens in our league still has to continue after they leave us. So they're doing the work to reach the major leagues, but we still like to claim that we are bringing the right kind of players here. And what's neat is, I'll touch on this a little bit more in a bit, but each one of these players stayed with someone in our community. They stayed in their home. We have host families that host our players, and To say you had a major leaguer, use your spare bedroom for the summer is pretty cool. And that's something that is a lifelong, even if they don't reach the major league, still lifelong relationships that form that way. The team, we talked about baseball, we talked about players, much more than baseball for our organization too. There's a number of youth programs, charitable partnerships we have, our sponsorships, range from some national companies down to, the university that we're on campus that our field is on, to small businesses that are just starting up and trying to make a name for themselves. And through that, we can do game day promotions, which some of these things are over here, giveaway items that we use. We have fireworks every Friday home game, which plug for this weekend, Friday night. Before you go to the city's fireworks on Saturday, come to ours on Friday night. We have every day of the week is a value day, so we have different opportunities for people to enjoy our games and come enjoy the experience with different deals at the ticket window or at the concession stand or through post-game and pre-game activities too. We work closely with the CVB in town, Destination Lake Winnebago region, to promote tourism and bring in hotel rooms for, just every game we host. We sometimes have the players for the visiting team staying in hotels. We definitely have the umpires staying in hotels in town. So I won't tell you what hotel they're at, so I'll save them a headache later. But we also create jobs for people in the community. A lot of times we're the first job for someone that's going into high school or right around that age. We can be that first spot that people, get that responsibility under their belt. And just the community experiences that we provide too. It's a gathering place for people. There's other events that you'll see why we want to host some more events at our ballpark soon here, but we have baseball, but we can do much, much more with our facility too. The mission statement for our organization, I'll read it word for word, and our team will create the best entertainment experience in Wisconsin so that every guest walks away with a smile and a desire to return. And there's a word that doesn't appear in there. We're a baseball team, and baseball doesn't even appear in our mission statement. So we're all about creating the best experience for people. And that's certainly starts with our fans. When people come, we want people to feel value for the time and the money that they spend with us. But also that experience can extend to our players. They have the best experience in town. The staff has the best experience that they can have and how they're treated and how they feel when they come and leave the ballpark. Visiting teams and the umpires and everybody that comes through the gate, we want to make sure that everyone is feeling that we're providing that best experience across the board. Yes, even the umpires. Recently, just before this season started, we added to our ownership group. So we have local additions to our ownership group. It, like I mentioned previously, was owned by the same group that owned the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers. Well, now myself, Rob, who's been part of the, Rob and his wife, Nikki, I should say, have been part of the ownership group or involved in one way or the other since the beginning. And Ryan was the team's first general manager when the team first started. So he's still at the Timber Rattlers as well. Rob's full-time job is president of the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, but also involvement with us. Nikki is the Doc Spiders marketing director. So we have quite a bit of baseball experience across the board. Also now part of the ownership group too. So a little bit more on the group that runs the team. 4 full-time office members. That's myself and Nikki. And then also we have a box office manager and a facility and tickets manager too. So sort of the core group that we have. We also have a host family coordinator separate from that. That's not a full-time position, but it is a role in our organization that's very, very important. And then our game day staff also that are with us on actual home games that we have events. So in addition to that, we have 4 coaches each season. Much like the players are trying to develop and reach the next level. Coaches are trying to do the same thing as well. They're with us usually for a few seasons, hopefully, but a lot of times they move on to, we'll say, bigger things sometimes, and they use this as a developmental area as well. Interns, we had 16 to 18 each season, and that's in different areas. It could be in hospitality in our food and beverage area. Our broadcaster, every one of our games is broadcast at home that we do and on the road. But at home, the home team's responsible for the broadcast. Video production, social media, graphic design, box office through ticket sales, stadium operations, and I'm forgetting some accounting, retail. So we have interns that are usually still in college or just out of college that join us for the summer. They come from all over the place. We have, I think, from all corners of the United States this year. We have some people from New York. We have some from South Carolina, Arizona, California, Oregon, obviously the area around the Midwest too. But yeah, it's a desirable place for people to come and gain experience. And we think we do that really well. And our interns move on to some really cool and great places after here if they want to continue in sports. Our broadcaster from a few years ago is now the AA broadcaster for the Brewers in Biloxi, Mississippi. So his name's Javik Blake. You'll see him in the major leagues eventually. He's really, really good, but he went straight from Fond du Lac to Biloxi, so straight from here to AA. So that's the experience we provide for that can be really, really valuable if that's the path folks want to take. And I mentioned our host families earlier, still part of everything we do and critical to every single piece of our organization to have a place for our players to stay, and they keep that relationship going even after they leave here too, which is really neat. So what's new this year? This was when we announced last fall our new artificial turf project, which these were the renderings, and at the time it included also the softball field at Marion, but they since now have a plan to potentially expand their campus in a different direction, and where the field is might get moved. So the softball field is just put on hold for a moment just to figure out where the gym might go or some other new campus things until they get sorted out. But this was the rendering at the time when we announced what we had thought the field would maybe look like, and then as we went through the process, we got to where we are today. So I think go back, yeah. Some major items of note. You can see where the bullpens used to be located, and the right and left field lines sort of in play, out of play a little bit on those areas. You can see a large arc on the outfield fence for that shape. Straight line, a lot of foul territory on both sides. So that was sort of the footprint of our previous field. And here we are today. I know it's a little shaped, or it's oriented a little differently, but you can see we moved the bullpens here beyond the home run fence and here. So what we did is we eliminated some of this foul territory. Basically, this line right here was the old line of the in-play, out-of-play fence. And you can see we pushed out some of these fan experience areas. We added this pavilion here, more patio tables on a different angle to increase better sight lines. Same thing over here that matches this side, but much less foul territory to have more fan experience spaces. And the bullpen's now completely out of play, so that's no longer an issue. That arc that we talked about before is now gone. Now we have 5 straight panels, 5 straight pieces here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it creates a few angles in different spots, a few different corners for knowing how the ball can play in those areas. Can be a home field advantage, but with that, we brought the fences in a little bit. We were 400 feet to center field. Now we're 385. The foul pole stayed at 320. And in the gaps, we were at 375, and now we're at 365. So we came in just a little bit to boost offense a little bit, and we haven't really noticed much of a difference this year in that, but that opportunity is there, that it is a shorter field. Still one of the bigger fields in our league. Wausau is like 304 down the line. It's a really small field. I think they're 350, 360 to center, something like that. So they're a really small park, and pitchers do not like going to Wausau in our league. that's for sure. But yeah, the foul line, yeah, every home plate's in the same spot, the bases are in the same spot. Just reoriented a few different things here. There was backstop netting here, and we extended full height 30 feet backstop netting to here and here with these posts. So now every fixed seat is covered by 30 feet of netting from the field, so there's more safety there. And these patio tables here also have netting in front of them as well. So we brought these areas closer to the action, but also added some netting for protection as well. Trying to think if there's any. The whole thing is turf. There's no grass anywhere. Even the pitcher's mound is turf. Yeah, so that's we're really proud of it. First of all, it was a lot of work to get to this point. A lot of partnerships with our organization and Marion and community partners and our sponsors, Marion donors, all working together to get this the finish line. And this was right before opening day. Little thing just from this picture, you can still see this is the netting on the field, this little snake-looking shape. That netting that was about to be installed here. There's some netting here in this picture still, but yeah, went right up to opening day deadline to get everything finished here. But that's what that looks like now. And why? Why did we do this? So it's a shared facility with Doc Spiders, Marion University, St. Mary Springs High School. They play there too. Hoping for this to grow and be more of a community hub for concerts, certainly tournaments. We can do baseball, that's for sure. We know that. Maybe movie nights, more youth camps that we've done in the past. We like to build upon that. But any activity that we have the infrastructure to sell concessions and restrooms and that kind of thing. It's fixed seats. So what more can we do? We don't want to say yes to everything right away, but we want to figure out what the right fits could be for that. With that, being a sports tourism asset for the area, and with we've had different college conferences reach out to us and different tournament directors and that kind of thing that really enjoy our field already and how it can play and what we can do with it, because it doesn't require daily maintenance in the same way it used to. We don't have to water the grass, we don't have to water the dirt, or worry about the dirt getting too much water, or putting a tarp on the field, or mowing the grass, painting the lines, cleaning up things all the time. This new surface for us allows us to basically play once the previous event ended. If we're going to have a concert, we don't have to worry about the stage killing the grass or falling, into a soft spot or anything like that. But even prior to our field, we had over 100 events a year with our schedule, Marion's schedule, St. Mary Springs schedule, our summer schedule around ours that could include American Legion Ball or tournaments that we're hosting. So that 100+ number was even before the turf, and we're looking for that to grow even more. The surface itself is AstroTurf. So that they're the industry leader. They invented the stuff. They developed everything as they go. They have an office at the University of Tennessee with their baseball program and their football program to determine the best footwear to wear on the field. Constantly maintaining different mixes of the rubber and sand mixture that is on top of the surface here. So they're working around the clock, and it's part of what they do to make the best stuff that there is. And we didn't go for the least expensive. We went for the right fit for us, and that is what we chose and why we chose it. And colors look pretty cool too. It looks like it is real grass almost, if you with the different striping pattern that we put in there. So yeah, we're hoping that the field itself can be 15+ year. A few years ago, the team in lacrosse has an AstroTurf product that they put in 14 years ago, and they just replaced it this year. So that was, technology from 14 years ago lasted 14 years. So we're hoping that what we have now lasts way more than 15. So, but that's sort of the baseline for us, that if we get that, we feel like we've got everything in place, and after that, it's kind of a bonus. So a little bit of Fond du Lac. Believe me, this is just a little bit. We're just scratching the surface here on Fond du Lac baseball history, but a few things I did want to mention before maybe a more robust Fond du Lac baseball presentation, which I'm certainly very interested in. Just didn't quite have the resources to pull it off at this point, but we will in the future, maybe. Let's see. They're officially, I mean, there may be others, but officially in the records, there are 3 Fond du Lac born major leaguers. The third one, Jim Gantner, probably can't talk too much about Fond du Lac baseball without his name coming up pretty quickly. Grew up in the Eden Campbellsport area, played at Campbellsport High School, but was born in Fond du Lac. He and I share a birthday, which is not the same year, but same day. Some others that you can see, including a New York Giant, which they're now the San Francisco Giants, but from 1902, that's when the playing career was. But Jim Gantner spent his entire career with the Milwaukee Brewers. Local guy playing for the local team is pretty neat, and obviously a big name in the baseball community in the state and in the area here too. And I mentioned Marty Paulson, and I don't know how he'd feel about me sharing all his accolades here, but here we are. But a little bit of history about Fond du Lac High School baseball. I know there's St. Mary Springs, and there's Oakfield, and there's North Fond du Lac, and all the others. And again, that could be part of a much bigger conversation, and I want that to be. But with what I had available through Marty's involvement here, was able to get some of this together for this presentation. But Fond du Lac High School baseball began in 1947, organized officially in 1947 after the war. State championship in 2000. That was my sophomore year. I wasn't on the team, unfortunately, but that was a neat thing for the community. I did want to mention there's a player on their team his name is Jack Brenner. He's the catcher, was the catcher, senior. He's committed to Oklahoma, play there starting in the fall. But it's possible he's drafted in just a few days here when the Major League Baseball draft happens. It starts the 10th or the 11th, so week and a half away. We could see a Fond du Lac native drafted in the major leagues. So heads up on that and keep an eye on it. And then he'll have to make a decision if he wants to sign with whatever team or take his commitment to go to Oklahoma. And a lot of factors in that he'll have to decide. But Marty started as the baseball coach in 1969, and there were only 4 head coaches prior to that. You can see the names and the dates that they were there, and his accolades. They just recently retired his number at the ball field, wore number 14. But yeah, a lot of 611 wins in his time there. 54 years, first of all, that's a long time to do anything. Yeah, a number of different activities. A lot of these, ABCA is the American Baseball Coaches Association. That's a really, really big deal in the baseball world. The WBCA is the Wisconsin version of that, and the A is the American version of that. So state and national level recognition and a number of different things. But the longevity and all the players that have gone through there are certainly probably what he would talk about the most. So. And that's my presentation. Mostly on Fond du Lac Dock Spiders history, our field and our organization, and our facility and our relationships in the community, and a little bit on Fond du Lac baseball history, but perhaps more to come on that.
We do have time for questions. Does anybody, I want to open up to the floor. Are there any questions that we have right out the gate?
Caleb Durbin, has he been somewhat the most successful? He was in the running for Rookie of the Year, wasn't he?
Yeah. As far as our former players, he finished 3rd last year in Rookie of the Year voting, and he was just down the road in Milwaukee too, which was kind of like winning the lottery for us. Which, he's from northern Illinois or northern Chicago suburb, so he's somewhat local too. We had him out here for an event last winter in January. He got traded a few weeks later to Boston. So that was, yeah, it's like we had our winning lottery ticket and we started to cash it in and then we had to give it back. But it's, and anywhere else in the world, being the starting third baseman for the Boston Red Sox that's a big deal. That's anywhere else but right here means more than anything. But we lost the Milwaukee Brewers, so that was kind of a kick for us. But we, as far as success levels, I'll pull that page up and just some quick accolades on this group. Well, Fortes, he was our first major leaguer, so he's still in the major leagues, which is still an accomplishment for his longevity to this point. Victor Scott, Chandler Simpson, and Caleb Durbin were all teammates at the same time at the 2021 team. And Chandler Simpson, he broke and set a new Northwoods League record for stolen bases. So he's a speed guy. This picture is actually, you can't see it, but he's holding third base above his head because that was the record breaking stolen base. And when he did it, took it out, saved it. But he should be a solid major leaguer just for his speed alone. Hopefully that's something that he can keep up. Victor Scott's still a very good major leaguer too, and speed guy as well. Caleb Durbin, he should be, these three guys alone are speed guys. That's what we try to build our team around because we like to say speed doesn't go in a slump. If they can get on base, they can keep running and hopefully help us win games. But Tim Elko won a College World Series. They have a statue of him at Ole Miss, University of Mississippi. There's a statue of him that they built right after they won their national championship. He was part of that right after he was part of our team. Ryan Ludus was undrafted and he made it to major leagues. Ryan Ritter was at Kentucky. Yeah, we've had a good successful group and there's more on the way. This is just in the major leagues right now. There's players in AA, AAA across the board. The next name to probably watch is Kemp Alderman. He's a infielder, outfielder in the Miami organization. He played here a few years ago. Yeah, he's probably our next one up. The next one on this banner when we update it. But yeah, keep an eye out for him.
Any other questions? I know I've got one because people love mascots.
Oh, yeah.
And you talked a bit about, you had all these submissions, you were working with a partner. Weaver's name and design, were those community entries? Was that something that was collaborated on between you guys and it was a San Diego based group, I think, that you had mentioned? And then I've got another one, but we'll wait.
Yeah, I don't think Weaver's name was part of the community submission. I think that was fleshed out through the work with that marketing firm.
Mm-hmm.
Probably there's the University of Richmond's mascot name is Webster. So that one was sort of off the board because it's already taken. And that there's not many, like I mentioned, not many spider things to pull from. But yeah, I don't think that was part of the community involvement. I think that was part of that marketing firm's efforts.
The other one was the Shantymen was on that list, and I know you guys sometimes appear on the field as the Shantymen. So what was kind of the conversation around that to use both of those mascots? Because very different having a sturgeon and a spider as your two logos.
Yeah, if you watch Major League Baseball, they have they call them their City Connect alternate jerseys. The Brewers have one they call it the Wisco one. They had Brew Crew in the past. Other teams have different things, but one of our alternate identities is the Shantymen that finished runner-up in the community voting. So those 5 names that were up there, the Dock Spiders won out in the community voting, and Shantymen finished second. So there obviously was some draw there with people and some connection that people felt with sturgeon spearing and ice fishing and all of that. I have some items here listing that, but our last home game, we appeared as the Lake Winnebago Shantymen, and that's been another way for us to connect with people and have a different marketing element and a different, brand logo and merchandise and giveaway items and promotions and all of that. So one day a year, and we appear as the Lake Winnebago Shantymen. Allows us to connect on that level. And during the winter is a good touch point for us to make sure people don't forget we're around too, and we can bring some of that merch out again in early February, I believe. That's when that stuff is going on, and we can reconnect with everybody in our off season.
And you guys also do the Arañas, I think, too?
Yep, Arañas, which is our Hispanic heritage version. That we do that for a game. That's one of our partners. That's one of our sponsorship partners there. One of their key elements is promoting to the Hispanic community, and that's something we do alongside of them. It's really cool stuff we can do with that. And yeah, Arañas is spiders in some version in Spanish, so we can do some cool imagery with that as well.
Cool. Other questions? I have one more.
Yeah.
What is, I guess, the most memorable game that you have witnessed or been a part of with your time in this organization? Most exciting player to watch, game, coach, any of it?
Yeah, I'll give you a couple things. Hopefully I'm not cheating by doing that. But a few years ago, we had a game where we went into the bottom of the ninth, down by 9 runs. And in the bottom of the ninth, we came back to win, which we had wind coming in, heavy wind. It wasn't raining. It was just heavy winds came in really quick, and was sort of a unique experience in the ballpark for watching the ball fly in different funny ways. But we were able to come back and win. It was at home, so it was a walk-off win. So that was really neat. We had another day in which we had to complete a game from the night before that had been rained out. The game was suspended in the 9th inning because we were tied at 2. So because the team was coming back the next day, it was against Green Bay. We were going to finish that game before our game started and then play our regularly scheduled game right after that. Well, the game was tied. We ended up winning that game in a walk-off, the first one. And the second game, we went right up to the end too, and we won that game in a walk-off. So we had a 2 walk-off win day, winning in our last at bat. So that was really neat to experience as well. And then just generally, just how our team and what we do connects with the community. And it's we're not as big of an organization as a major league team, but I think because of that, the decisions we make and the things that we decide to do really connect with people on a much closer level. And people can see those things when they walk through the gates and talk to us personally and tell us what they like and what they don't like, and hopefully more of what they do like. But yeah, I guess without being a cop-out answer, that one's probably the most important.